So we're going to start with 12. I'm going to read it. Halacha 12. Hadvash ve'ayain. The honey and the wine. Ra laktanim. What it mean, ra? It's bad. Ktanim, it mean young. People that are young. Okay? Ve'yafeh laskenim. Listen to the word. He doesn't say tov laskenim, he say yafeh. There's a difference. Why does he say yafeh not? Because there is tov vara. Here he didn't say tov, he say yafeh. Why does it mean yafeh? What it mean if you take the word yafeh, what does it mean in Hebrew? Nice. Nachon? So if you every word that the Rambam say, you have to read it and to understand. Yafeh, it means that it's nice. It's nice for the elderly. Why is it nice to the elderly? So we explain why dafka wine. And which wine, by the way, the Rambam is referring usually to the red wine. Why dafka red wine? Remember we spoke about it last week. Because in a red wine, there is a special thing that break what we call the fat inside the body. Today they call it cholesterol. They're giving it the name cholesterol. But that pigment that is inside the red grapes, when you turn it to wine, it helps to reduce the fat that you have inside the body. That's what they call today cholesterol. Now, did you ask yourself why dafka honey? What's the special about honey? Where's the doctor? We have doctors here. Where are they? Where? I saw Tony Demlin. Where is he? Oh, he's hiding there. Tony, why dafka honey? What's the special? Tony doesn't know. He doesn't want to comment.
I'm not a doctor. I can't comment.
No, guys? Why dafka honey?
Bees honey or date honey?
No. Did you listen to his question? Mr. Norman Mendel asked, which kind of honey am I referring? Is it the bee honey? Okay, we all know bee honey. But we ask the date honey.
The?
Date honey. You know these dates that they make honey from it? Yeah. No, but here referring dafka to the honey that we're talking about here. It's the bees. Why? Okay, they done research in America, and I read about it 5 years ago, if not more, even 6 years ago, that if you take cinnamon and you mix it with honey, it's good for the blood pressure. What else? It's good for the cholesterol. It's good for that people that have a problem with their heart. It's stringing the heart. Can you believe it? Honey and cinnamon. So honey have a lot of what we call it in Hebrew tchunot. Tchunot is how would I put it? Sorry? Not advantages. It is advantage, but it is a special thing inside the honey that if you mix it.
Ingredients.
Sorry?
It's got the right ingredients for solving, for supplementing the heart.
That's it. Supplementing.
It's the ingredients,
Yeah.
the makeup of the honey.
It's that it's helped a lot with the heart, with people that suffer from high blood pressure. It's helped a lot. You can't believe. People that actually use it. And it's helped, by the way, I forget to mention, it also helps cinnamon. People that have diabetes. Don't know who of you have diabetes here? You have diabetes. So I read because my mom and my dad my late mom have a diabetes, and my dad also have, but he have a very mild diabetes. But my mom have a very strong diabetes. And I spoke once to a doctor. And the doctor said to me, listen, I think that if you look at it from homeopathic point of view, if you eat oats in the morning with cinnamon on top, that's helped a lot for the blood, for the diabetes. Did you know that?
That's true.
Oh.
That's true. But the honey is not good for diabetes.
That's for sure. Depends how much. Depends how much you take from it.
Any time.
They say honey is good for high blood pressure.
Yes, high blood pressure, but not for diabetes.
But I don't think that people that have diabetes ever eat honey. If I'm not mistaken.
It suits you super well.
You think so?
Yes, no, I'm diabetic.
Do you eat honey?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
Stay off it.
They can't because it's very sweet. I mean, my dad told me, for example, you know grapes. You eat grapes. You know how much?
Also.
You know how much in one grape? You say it's too much. One grapes. You say you can't believe how much sugar there is on one grape. I couldn't believe.
Fructose.
You know, we take it for advantage. You know what I'm saying? Sorry?
Fructose.
Fructose.
Yes. That's it. It's a sugar that comes From the fruit. It's not a sugar like we know that what we put in a tea. It's a different completely. So anyway, so let's carry on. So he say yafeh. What it mean yafeh? That it's nice for the elderly. Why dafka nice? You ask yourself, why nice for the old people? And bad, but he say it's bad for the youngster. Listen to the difference of the wording. So they explain like this. You know that wine, a good wine, besides that it's breaking the cholesterol and everything, it's things that relax you. And usually for old people, it's good for the memory. I saw that they're talking about memory. That red wine, if you drink a little bit, that's what it say yafeh. It didn't say drink a lot. It's good for the memory.
The Italians drink a lot of it.
The Italian and the French don't suffer from heart problem. You know that the red wine is very good for heart problem. Did you know that? Okay, let's move on. Now we're moving about to Halacha Yud Gimel. Halacha Yud Gimel is 13. I just wanted to repeat the 12 to remind us. Now we're going to speak about a person that have constipation, people that suffer from constipation. You're laughing, Menahem. You'll see now what he says. It's actually very interesting. Le'olam, forever. Yishtadel Adam. A person should take on himself to try. Shiyu me'av rafim. Me'av, it means the bowels or the intestine. The intestine. Yeah. That they should be working. That means they should be running. To what level? To what level? So he said, Kol yamav v'yeh karov l'shilshul me'at. That means that they should come closer, that the person like he have diarrhea, running tummy. Can you believe it? When a person have to go to keep himself healthy, he should make sure that all the time, all of his life, that his bowels should be working. Not only that they should be working, they can be also running to a level that it's running. And then he said, V'zeh klal. What it means, v'zeh klal? It's a rule. If you want to call it a rules, or you want to call it a principle, whatever you want to call it. V'zeh klal gadol barfuah. That means that's the highest rule in a medicine field. Kol zman sha're'i nimtza, as long that the person have constipated, that he feel constipated, okay, or if he's not constipated, that it's very hard for him to have whatever you have to do when you go to the toilet, talking about big, okay? Listen what he said. Halaim ra'im ba'im alav. That means bad, ra'im is bad, holaim it means sickness, ba'im alav. That means bad sickness coming on that person. And why is that? Because what's happening inside, when a person, lo alayim, when person can't go to the toilet, and he constipated, all of that germs, all of that things that he have to release it, stay inside, and that's a poison. And he start poisoning himself. So now the Rambam going to go and say, how do you cure it? How do you cure it? And there is here a few words that he mentioned, and I looked in a dictionary, and I looked in, what do you call it? And I searched for it in Hebrew, and I couldn't find. But I found one thing in English, maybe you know it, halami. Did you hear about the word halami? Halimi. Do you know that kind of a vegetable? Or kind of, did you hear about it? Anyone hear about it? No? Oh, I saw that it say etriplex. Anyone hear about etriplex? It's also kind of a vegetable. And the Rambam mentioned that you should boil it. But let's go through it. And let's see. Ubema yirapeh adam et me'av. How a person can cure if he's constipated. Okay? Imit amtzu me'at. First of all, before we start with any medication, he must try to let his tummy work a little bit, to try to push it, if he can. If he can't, now he say, Ima yabahur, if he's a youngster, and he's suffering from constipation, baboker, early morning, early morning. Okay? He have to eat meluchim shlukim. Meluchim shlukim, that's what I call it, that's the halimi. That means a boiled halimi. It's kind of I would call it, I don't know if it's a vegetable, or I don't know what is it. From what I understand, it is kind of a vegetable or kind of like a weeds that you have to put and you have to drink it. The juice of it, after you boil it, you drink it. Metubalim, that means spiced. Beshemen zait, with the olive oil, ubemurias. Murias is the oil, it's a fish oil. Murias is a fish oil, salty fish oil. Ubemelah belopat, with a salt without a bread. Why salt? Did you ask yourself, why suddenly mention salt? We know that salt, it's very dangerous to people that have high blood pressure. Pashut, it's simple. So he come and tell us now, listen what he said. You take those, by the way, if you don't have, I saw another translation, if you don't have this halimi, you take selek. Selek is like a cabbage or what we call spinach. He said, also boil it. The water of it you drink. And how you drink it? With olive oil, remember? And you put inside some salt and look for how many days. And then he said, V'yishhek mo 4 sha'ot. That means that you have to drink it early morning, remember? And you have to keep it on your stomach for kmo 4 sha'ot, 4 hours before he start eating his meal. And then, v'ya'aseh ken yom echad, he must do it for 1 day, or 3 or 4 yamim. It can take 1 up to 4 days, 4 yamim, 3 yamim, okay? Until he find that his tummy starts working properly. Sorry, what you asking?
Me?
Yeah. Say.
My question is this: if at the time the Rambam was writing, medicine pharmacology was primitive. This was maybe the cutting edge at the time. This was the best they had.
You know how long the Rambam lived? You remember how many years we mentioned?
Yeah.
It's around 850 years ago.
Okay, but why is that relevant to us today?
How is it relevant to us today?
Well, if you've got constipation or any other number of ailments, you can go and rely on the advances of modern technology.
That's right. Okay, so I'll tell you a story. You know, you go to a field. You're stuck and you don't have. You can't get hold of a chemist. The chemist closed. Whatever is it, you're on an island. You have the remedy here. Just remember when the Rambam was, in the time that he was, they used to use a lot of spices to heal people. They didn't have what we have today. If you have a headache, you go and take Panado, you wait 20 minutes, whatever it's take, and then you don't have any more headache. Or if you suffer from heartburn, you go and take a Losec, it's helpful to calm it down. We're talking here about food that actually there's no chemical with it. The salt that the Rambam talking, it's not the salt that we have today. You know that the salt that you eat, it's not a proper salt. You know that. I hope that you know that. The salt that you use at home, it's very refined.
But everything's refined today. That's the part of
So
the
there's
problem.
not the mineral that you should get with that salt. You don't get. So he's talking to you here about, and I'll tell you a story. I suffered 7 years ago. I have a very bad ulcer. Very bad ulcer. Anyway, I was on medication. I took the antibiotic that the doctor prescribed. It's passed. But then I start to develop it again. And then someone said to me, you know what? Take cabbage and drink the water. Drink it for 3 days, a little bit like this every day, and try. I said, what can I lose? I bought the machine. I tell you, the taste is horrible. It's actually, I don't know how to explain it. It's really bad taste. But the 3rd day, Menachem, no more heartburn. Baruch Hashem. So what he say here, that it will help you. Nachon, that in that time, the Rambam lived, he didn't have those medication. But we have to look at it also, it's not a chokhmah to go and take medication. Because those medication that you take today, they're fixing up one thing, but on the other way, they're destroying something else. The effect of that medicine does affect you.
Even natural products have got side effects.
If you take too much, yeah, definitely.
They did a lot of trial and error in those days, and they became very expert at certain things working for certain diseases. But I don't think they understood the chemical base of what they were using.
It's not what we have today. You're talking about 850 years ago that people didn't have nothing. It's no chemist that you can go and buy. There's no shops that you can go and reach to it. So if you look at it 850 years ago to find solution for those ideas, I think that it's a big
I
chokhmah.
don't see the relevance today for us.
You're looking at the relevance.
No, you tell me there's some mystical reason why you should have this plant, halimi or whatever it is, and wait 4 days for your constipation to be...
Mystically, I can't tell.
so much.
Mystically, I can't tell, Menachem. I can't tell you mystically because he doesn't speak mystically.
Yeah.
You know, the Rambam, as much that he was a great giant and a great mystical, but in his book you don't find it.
So why
He
is it
didn't
relevant?
speak. It's how a person should keep himself healthy in that time. But let's move on. Let's see what he said. Ve'ot klal amru, and another principle, they say bebriut haguf, in the health of the body. And what does it say here? Kol zman she'adam mit'amel. Here, that's relevant to today. As long that the person exercise, okay, ve'yagea, that means that he make himself, that he sweat a bit, ve'yagea arbe, ve'eno savea, that he doesn't eat to fill up his stomach, ve'me'av rafim, that means that his bowels working well, en holi ba'alav ve'kocho mitchazek, that means no sickness coming to that person, and not only that, he actually getting stronger. So we have a mitzvah from the Torah to exercise, nachon? Nachon? You agree with me or not? Okay, where we learn that? ונשמרתם מאוד לנפשותיכם. The Rambam took that pasuk and he said that a person should walk in the sun. We explained that. You remember when we spoke about it, that a person should walk in the sun, dafka in the sun, for 20 minutes. You remember? To sweat. We explained what the sun do with the vitamin D and why the sweat to take the poison out. You remember when we spoke about it? Menachem, you wasn't that show? You missed that show.
Rabbi, I think really the essence of what he's really saying about what you eat and what you do is that you have a responsibility to look after yourself.
Yeah, that's what we say. ונשמרתם מאוד לנפשותיכם.
That's what the message is.
That is a
You
positive
shouldn't
command.
abuse yourself. And like, for example, get inebriated, get drunk, all that sort of thing is abusing yourself.
That's exactly what I say. What did he say? Ve'yafeh. He didn't say it's tov. He said it's nice for the elderly to drink wine. It's nice.
Yeah.
When you say nice to drink wine, he doesn't say good. If he would say good, people will start drinking too much. He especially the Rambam say yafeh. What it mean yafeh? Nice. To drink a little bit. Okay, let's move on. And then he said that, listen to what he said, but afilu ochel ma'achalot ra'im, even if he ate not good food. Ma'achalot ra'im is a bad food. What is bad food? You know, it's all the takeaway. Simply, it's a junk. You know, I was the other day, I was speaking to a person and someone said, I don't know who mentioned that about the burger that come from the McDonald's. If you take those burgers from McDonald's, he put them inside the freeze for 6 months. The burgers stay the same. Inside the roll, nothing changed. Do you know what they inject inside? I heard the research that they done in Israel about the burgers. You know how much water they put inside the meat?
The butchers do that anyway.
That's it.
When you buy meat, it weighs 2 kilos. By the time you get it home, it's already half a kilo gone because
But you know what they inject it with water and they put like a red coloring inside. There's a red coloring, special red coloring, and it actually look beautiful and fresh, but it's all water. You know the steak that you eat or the burger that you eat. Sorry? And the chicken that you eat also, yeah. We're talking about it. Okay, later on he said, וכל מי שיושב לבטח ואינו מתעמל. Look how is it relevant. A person that sits and doesn't exercise, sit he eats, but he doesn't exercise, doesn't walk, okay? Or shemashet nekava, a person that doesn't go to the toilet when he needs to go to the toilet, that means that he keep it in. Or mishu me'af kashim, a person that he have constipated. Afilu achal, even if he eat, ma'achalot tovim, v'shamar atzmo al pi harefua, even if he eat healthy food, and he go according to the health that the doctor tell him, whatever you have to eat, diet food, whatever you want to call it, listen what he said. Kol yamav, all of his life. Hiyu mach'ovim, that all of his life he will suffer from pain. Ve'kochot hashesh, that means that his string of his body actually getting weaker and weaker. Can you believe it? So let's stop here before we carry on. Let's understand what he says. So number one, we're not allowed to eat too much. Why? Because it's take a long time for the tummy to digest the food. Number two, he tell us that we should make sure that we take all the poison out of the body, but that we keep our bells working properly. Number three, that you should exercise. When you exercise, you're actually burning a lot of fat. You agree with me? So if you burn all of that fat, it helps you actually to string up your body. Let's move on. Ve'achila gasa, and a person that eat gasa is very, to put it rightly, achila gasa, it's a person that eat a lot until that he feels like his stomach is completely bloated. Sorry?
Glutton.
Glutton. Okay. Okay. And listen what he say. Kmo sama mavet. It's like a poison. That person that eat a lot, and actually, let's stop here and I want to ask you something. Usually, when do we eat a lot? You go to a wedding, you go to a barmy, there is a simcha, you go there. And bli ayin hara, today in South Africa, today and all over the world, there is so much prosperity. So people tell you that's for free, everything for free there. You bought a present. You say, okay, they sell it. I'll taste all the salad. You see a chicken. Okay, I'll taste the chicken. Then you see the meat. I'll taste the meat. You see lamb. I'll take a lamb. There's a stew. I'll take a stew. By the time that you finish, your plate is full. Why don't take one piece? And the next stage that I'm going to speak, and I'm going to link it to it, and is how a person can be happy. A person always wants more. We have a yetzer that we want more. Everyone know what is a yetzer? Everyone know? Brian doesn't know what is a yetzer. A yetzer is the desire that we want always more. With food, with money, whatever we have, we want always more. You have a car? You want a better car.
You're never satisfied.
Sorry?
You're never satisfied.
You're never satisfied with what you have. You always want more. So I'm going to make a show about it. How does it fit with us? Why is a person who always have the desire to have more? Now, if you take an animal, a lion eaten, he eat enough, he rests, he doesn't have the desire anymore to hunt, to eat. Even if a buck will pass by him, that's it, he eaten, he have enough, ganug. You know what I'm saying? But we can be full, and I go to a simcha. Somehow I'm going to find a space to push a bit more. After a full plate, let's go back. There is a dessert. A person finish a dessert, then there's coffee and cake. You know, it's never stop. Where do we get that? Why do we have that desire? Please God, I'll make the next show about it. So let's go back. So the Rambam say that the person that eat that so much, that's like a poison to the body. Vehu ikar lekol ha'cholaim, and that's the main source to all the sickness that the person have. What is it? Food. Do you agree with that, Menachem? Is it relevant? I think so. Not only that, when you eat too much. Verov ha'cholaim, and most of the sickness, shebaim al adam, most of the sickness that the person have, enam ela mipnei ma'achalim ra'im. What it means? From the bad food that we eat. Most of the sickness that people have today, remember the Rambam spoke about it 850 years ago. Imagine today what we eating. Now you're going to ask, what bad food they have there, נכון?
No. They have no idea about bacteria, about any of the microscopic causes of illnesses.
Let's stop here. Whoa. Who's they? Who's they? You're talking about scientists.
Science at the time, physicians, the
But we don't agree with that. Why? Because in our religion, we say that garlic is antibiotic. You know that? Garlic. And didn't you know that? Garlic.
No, but where does it say?
In a Gemara. Gemara explained that for sure. But I'll speak to you about it personally. But let's understand. Look what he said. ורוב החולאים שבאים על האדם אינם אלא מפני מאכלים רעים. So the Rambam talking about 850 years ago about bad food. But wait, you say bacteria. He doesn't speak about bacteria.
Yes, so
What is bad food? What is bad food? You remember what he mentioned? I think that you missed quite of the thing. The Rambam say, יש מאכלות רעים. We mention it in Mishnah, in Halakha Tet. And what are they? The dagim הגדולים. The big fish, the big salty fish. And then we say, הגבינה המלוחה הישנה. And the old cheese, the old salty cheese. And then he say, הכמהים והפטריות והבשר המליח הישן. And in the olden day, how did they used to restore the meat? They used to put a lot of salt on it because they didn't have fridge. And it used to be very hard, full of salt. That's how they used to restore it. Sorry?
It raises the blood pressure.
That's it. You understand now what he's talking about bad food in that time. But it's not necessary that he speak about specifically about bacteria. Tell you about bad food. But bad food is not necessarily bacteria.
No, but he says all illnesses come from bad foods. I'm saying at that stage they thought all illnesses, because they didn't know that there were other causes. Today we know bad food is one of many causes. Genetics was...
No. Wait. When we get to the end in Gimel, sorry. No. In Halacha Kaf Aleph, you make me jump. Listen what he said. וכל ההנהגות הטובים האלה, and all of that what I told you, because in Kaf Aleph you're going to say, that all of those right things to do, it's only for people that they're healthy. If a person born sick, nothing going to help. That's what he explained in Halacha Kaf Aleph. So you jumped few ahead. But let's just finish that. Okay, and we say that all the food coming, that all the sickness that the person have coming from a bad food, or mipnei, or another reason, שממלא בטנו ואוכל אכילה גסה, אפילו מאכלים טובים. That even if he eat good food, but as long that he eat a lot of food, that he consume a lot of food, that can cause them a sickness. והוא ששלמה אמר. Now we bring what Shlomo HaMelech say in Sefer Mishle. Sefer Mishle, in English you call it pervert, am I right? Mishle is pervert, am I right? How you say it? Proverb. So, Shlomo HaMelech say in Mishle, Shomer piv ulshono, shomer mitzarot nafsho. That means that the person that keep his mouth and his guard his tongue, he keep that his soul from metzoros. What does it mean? How did he explain that? Shomer piv, a person that guard his, that keep his mouth from eating bad food, okay, or from not eating too much, because the Rambam explained two reasons how a person can get sick: if you eat too much, or that you eat bad food. And then he say, Velshono, what is the connection to the lashon, to guard his tongue? Miledaber ela betzrachav, that when a person doesn't speak what he needs, he speak about kucheling, about that, and he have a lot to tell about other people, inside himself he start eating himself.
Rabbi, the one thing that I'm missing, and maybe this comes further, he doesn't
Sure.
talk about diseases which are created by the environment, contagious diseases and all that sort of thing. I miss that in these type of
Say again.
Now, you talk about a person must look after his health by
Yes.
what he eats and what he does.
Yeah.
We all understand that.
But we say also exercise.
Yeah, no, it's what he does. I classify that as what he does. So it's right to eat the right foods, it's right to do the right amount of exercise, but nothing is mentioned there about environmental things like contagious diseases.
He doesn't speak about it.
Okay.
That the Rambam didn't speak. Not in this, not that I saw. But the Rambam also mentioned, and that's the most important, Rabota, is the quantity that the person eats. And he explained that when you finish your meal, before you go, I think that you missed that shiur that we spoke. That you was there that after a person finished to eat, he consumes certain amount of food, he should rest. You know for how long before we go to bed? Menachem, you know how long the Rambam said?
2 hours.
You remember, 4 hours. 4 hours a person should sit before we lie down. And then we explain which side he should lie down. We explain, but I think that shiur you was, no? We say that the person should lie on his left first until half of the night. Yeah.
Well, also a problem. 850 years ago, people couldn't go to the shops and buy what they wanted. They didn't know where the next meal was coming from. So if you put a loaf of bread in front of a guy, and he didn't know that he was going to have another loaf of bread the next day, he was going to eat the whole loaf of bread. He wasn't going to eat 3/4 of the loaf because he was hungry, because he knew tomorrow
Tell you what,
he may have nothing. He wasn't going to have time to go for a walk around the block, because first of all there wasn't a block. Second of all, that wasn't their lifestyle.
I know, but
So,
that's...
yes, I understand that Rambam was a visionary and it shows his brilliance and everything. But again, I think it just shows for me that maybe the other things he said it brings out his brilliance, but maybe this was relevant at the time. But for me, yes, it is relevant and showing that he has the brilliance. But for me, it makes sense, but it doesn't make any importance in my life.
So I'll explain to you. In the olden days, they didn't bake, one loaf of bread for everyone to finish. They have enough source of food because they used to grow everything. Everything used to grow, remember? Now the men, we just get used to it lately. But I remember in Israel, when I was a young boy, when we needed chicken, you know how we used to do it? We take the chicken to the shochet, we slaughtered it. Okay, my granny used to clean it. Used to take the feather. They used to cut it. And the same day we eaten the chicken. And it was enough for the next day. Now, they used to make a bread, I remember they used to make bread at home. That bread at home actually stayed fresh. Tasty, much tasty than I remember the bread here. Now, in the Rambam's time, remember they used to make a meal, the woman used to work, where she used to work, not in the office, at home. That was a job, she used to cook. Now, if you slaughter a sheep, or whatever you want to call it, a cow, that meat lasts for a long time.
But then you have to salt it, then you
Preserve it.
You can't salt it.
Yeah, but just remember that they used to live together. It's not supposed to be a family of husband and a wife and 2 kids.
I mean, the fact is, there wasn't an abundance of food like there is today.
How did you come to that conclusion? Why you think that there was poorer than us? They maybe didn't have the technology that we have, but I don't think that there was short.
Eating and for movies that I've seen, which hopefully is, but not Rambam movies, but movies like Fiddler on the Roof, where they're looking for food.
Everybody
Look,
makes
there may be,
And
you're
that's
talking
not
about...
150 years ago, that's 500 years ago.
But you know what, wait. So how do you explain in the time of Rabbi Akiva? No, I agree with you, but now I'm contradict. Because Rabbi Akiva, you remember, he have his father-in-law. You remember what was his father-in-law's name? Kalba Savua. The Gemara said, nachon? And the Gemara asked, why Shmo is Kalba Savua? His name is not Kalba Savua. You remember the Gemara there? The Gemara said that's not his real name. It's like a nickname. Why did they call him Kalba Savua? Let's go one step more. Let's speak about Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, that he was the Nasi of all Israel. That he used to, that the Gemara tell us that all year round, never was missing from his table what you call it a radish. You know what is it, a radish? The hazeret. So they used to be very rich. It's just that these certain people, even today, that they're short with food. Because financially they reach a difficult time. Doesn't mean that it's all the time. There is abundance of food today. But there's many people that struggle, Russell.
I agree with that.
But I don't think that in the time of the Rambam that they really were starving. You maybe saw, movies. It's movies. Let's leave them there.